Welcome back to another amazing show, guys. Welcome back to Real Estate Uncensored. I have full control of this vessel. Matt is on vacay. We have the Evil Bald Ninja. We got Dave here, guys. He's a returning victim of our podcast. We are going to be talking about all kinds of epically cool shit. We're going to talk about YouTube, content creation, how to leverage your time, leverage your knowledge, really go out there and just start hustling and grinding. So I am excited for this show. Dave, first off, Dave, I just love your voice, dude. You got like the most perfect radio voice, dude. It's like it's like listening to Dave Ramsey. I love this.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that. At least he didn't say the face for radio. I mean,
he did say that pre-show, but I disagree. He did say it. I heard him. I disagree.
Hey, well, thank you, G. That's why we're such good friends, man.
You guys both suck. Show's over. But we have the Evil Bald.
Oh, hey, Greg, you're still here with us, eh?
See, the abuse I take on this show. The abuse I take. Oh my God. But no, I'm really serious, guys. We were wrapping off air, and we're going to talk about some content creation. It's going to be really a good show. But first but not least, Gene Volpe, the Evil Bald Ninja, the co-host, ride or die, brother from another mother. What's up?
Greg McDaniel, my dude. How you living? Listen, I want to say you said something in the beginning of the show, and I can't allow you to start off the show with a blatant lie. And you said, I got full control of this vessel. We are legit 8 minutes late to the party because you couldn't get your tech shit together, McDaniel. Now we're out there.
All right, Volpe, you know what? Goodbye. Yeah, that's what you get. Okay.
Damn it.
And I rule again. All right, so let's bring our guest in. Dave, how are you, my friend? Welcome back. We are going to be talking about some amazing stuff. You are a man of many, many, many hats that you wear. Tell everyone who doesn't know who you are, what you do, what you put out, where they can find you, and all that goodness. So bring us in, man.
Yeah, man. No, first of all, guys, it's great to see you both again, and I appreciate the re-invitation to the show. That means I guess the first one went kind of well, which is good. I'm hoping, but no, it's awesome to be back here, man. It's good. You guys are always a fun group to be chatting with here. My show 101. I mean, I don't know, those that know me would say I probably only wear one hat. It's this one right here. But no, realistically speaking, I got a company called Kits. We've been in business for about a decade and a half now, serving the real estate industry, mortgage brokers, real estate agents, and helping everybody really stay in touch with their most important audience. And, through that time, I've had the opportunity now to, speak with tens of thousands of realtors and do a lot of speaking, a lot of coaching. And through learning, you get to have a lot of conversations around what the challenges are and where people are finding their issues in this business, and how they're out there marketing their business, how they're running their business. And through that of, back in the day trying to sell product, you start helping people. And that's really what this game is all about, is how can I get out there and help more people? And so about 6 years ago or so, Mind Show 101 was born, and Mind Show 101 really is my brand. It's all, with a goal of helping people work easier, spend less and make more. And we believe that, by helping you build mind share, you'll get more market share. Now, the big question always comes up and goes, well, dude, what the fuck, what is mind share? And mind share essentially is a top of mind, intuitive, instinctive reaction to a product or service. So, for example, if I said like running shoes, what's the first company you guys think of?
Nike.
Okay.
What if I said fast food?
McDonald's.
What if I said soda pop?
Coke.
That's what you call mine.
This is good, right? We're proving his point.
So, it's amazing, right? This is the point, though. It's now, when somebody says, podcast, you'd like them to think of Real Estate Uncensored. I'd like them to think of the Mindshare podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But in the real estate game, we want them to think of you and your name, right? And if they're constantly connecting you with their house, now you've built the Mindshare, and now it's a lot harder for anybody else to break into that relationship.
Do you want to know something really funny,
and
Dave? I have for years I have said, and people can go back and check it. I've said that all I want to do is I want to be the Coca-Cola of real estate. You know what? People, when they think of me, they think of real estate, synonymous association. And I'm working towards that diligently with what we're putting out there. And I'm sorry I cut you off. I'll let you keep going, but I just had to get that in there because I've always said that.
But that's the thing, though, man. Like, I mean, all jokes aside, when you sit back and think about it, the reality is, we all know between 1 to 5 realtors, they say, right? So it's that idea now going, well, why is it going to be me? Why am I going to be the one that people work with? What am I doing to build the know you, like you, trust you factor with you? And a lot of that comes down to what are my processes around building mind share. And you know, Greg, I know as looking on to the stuff you're up to over here, looking at that, you know, you're doing video, you're doing podcasting, you're out there connecting with people and talking to people, you're putting a lot of content out there. So you're using a bunch of different channels to build that mind share. Right. And again, there's where the marketing end of what I do comes in with Kits, our company, is it helps you get out there by, you know, email and social and paper and keep you all organized with your CRM. So it's taking all those different channels and helping you really, you know, compact them into one system to help you get out there every day. And then the learning around, you know, Mindshare 101, the education part of it comes in and goes, okay, have you done your social media today? Have you done your emails today? Have you gone out and made your phone calls today? Who do you have to meet with today? And even though we're during COVID and everybody's locked down, whatever, are you getting on things like this and meeting with people? And as long as we're tapping into all 7 ways every single day, now we're out there building mind share. And it's the little brush strokes that we do. It's like the Mona Lisa, right? She wasn't painted in a day. It's those tiny little brush strokes that end up painting that masterpiece. So what are the little things that we're doing every single day to go out there and be the Coca-Cola of real estate? Well, you can check off podcast today. You might be able to check off video today. Maybe if you made your phone calls already, you can check that off as well. You see where I'm going with that?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So it's those little things, man. And that's what I mean, forgive me, as a mind share, like this is where I'm trying to push the industry, is just get out there and do it. Yeah. So many people come back and go, oh man, it's like going back to basics. And it's like, whoever said we went away from the basics? It's always about talking to people and building relationships, right?
Dude, you know what? That's 100% correct. You got to continually be selfless and give and give and give. You know, that's one of the things that I hired a company for, and they gave me this list of 20 different videos, all keyword and SEO, you know, heavy, so that people can search and find me so that they can get into my ecosystem. Gene, that's what you do for a fucking living, is slice up content. You are the content ninja, or the evil bald ninja. And that's what I want to. That's where I really want to go deep on this show today, guys. I want to talk with all the people that are watching us now live, and then obviously listening to this on the podcast and watching it later.
Where are we streaming this live, guys? I'm trying to find this on Facebook right now.
We are on my page, Greg McDaniel, and then we're on the Real Estate Uncensored YouTube page. But I mean, taking a 20-minute or 10-minute video, like Gene, you can take a 10-minute video, and you can chop it up for how long?
Well, that's tricky, and here's why it's tricky. Is the 20-minute video a great video, or do you suck? Like if you're giving me 20 minutes of crap, I can't cut nothing off, right? But if you're giving me like that, what Dave just did a minute ago, for a full 4 minutes, there were 15 solid nuggets in that. We probably could cut that into, and I'll tell you what, I'll give you one of the solid nuggets, and I'm going to draw a parallel here. I think this is amazing. He talked about the Mona Lisa, and he talked about the brush strokes. And I think I figured out why you're so good. I know how much you love the stroke. And so, and I think that makes a little bit of sense to me. Right. So I get it. So you constantly have your brush out. I get it.
Oh my God.
But yeah, but we could take little clips like that and basically reframe them into different things, into blog posts, into other shorter videos that lead back to the main video, into some kind of thumbnail that looks good on social. Like one 10-minute video, I think we said this. I said this to David on the way in. Well, a good 10-minute video will produce content for us for 2 months.
That is unbelievable. But why are people not putting out the content? Here's the biggest thing. People are not putting out the content because they're afraid of how they're going to be perceived by the outside world. And in reality, I mean, here's a funny parallel here. So my webcam right here is a Logitech camera. I bought it for $40, right? They're going for like $300 to $400 right now during COVID lockdown, because everyone's communicating in this vertical. Guess what? You got to get over how you look, how you sound, and everything else. You have got to be able to be, you know, on camera. You got to be able to reach the people, reach your past clients. You know, use apps like Marco Polo if you don't want to go full blown podcast and do video chats with people back and forth. Get on Facebook and send messages on video. You have to be in front of them, because if not, people are going to think us real estate agents, they all think that we just make a fuck ton of money. We drive Mercedes and Range Rovers, and we, you know, have 200-foot yachts, and we eat caviar for lunch. That's just not the reality, but that's what the perception of us. So if you're not being seen, then people are they going to go to the person who's going to be, you know, the next person, Tom, Dick, or Harry, that's going to show up at the next barbecue, and it's going to bring value to them. I mean, I can't.
Here's something there. And I'm with you, man. It's so many people are concerned, like, why me? Well, what are people going to say? And you know, for everybody thinking about that right now, something you got to really interpret right now is like, are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? Are you constantly there checking people out and scrolling? Because if you are, hey, you may think people don't care about you, but obviously you care about others, right? And so much the same way, you know, other people are doing the same thing you're doing. I mean, there's a lot of stalkers out there, and you don't want to just be a stalker, because a stalker doesn't get any engagement with anybody on this social media stuff. You don't really leverage it for your business. You end up just spending a ton of time, or let me say it another way, you end up wasting a ton of time, right? Because when you get on there, you got to do it with intent, right? You got to go and you got to connect with people. You got to engage with people. You got to like and comment and love and all this fun stuff, and, you know, share people's content, and you got to post your own. And when it comes to video, it's not liking the way we look and sound. The thing that's important that everybody understands, when you look in the mirror, you look and sound the same as you do when you're on camera. Internalize that one. So if you are not happy with what you look like on camera, have a look in the mirror and go, do I like this person? Because if you're okay with that person, then this person's just the same.
Dude, I always laugh and tell people this. They're like, "Oh my god, I don't like how I sound. I don't like how I look." I'm like, "Hey, here's the facts. Let me stop you right there. You have friends and family that have not run off with their ears bleeding because of the sound of your voice, and people tolerate your face. Okay, you're fine on cameras, like you said, Dave. As long as you bring value to another human being, they don't care if you're a purple Smurf. I mean, they really don't. I mean, look at me.
And here's the funny thing too, dude. Here's the funny thing. You think about the stuff that we actually pay attention to online. We like watching the car crash. We like watching the person slip on the banana peel, you know, take that into whatever kind of, we like seeing that stuff. The stuff where people are like, they made the stupidest mistake. We pay attention. So now when you're on there and you're doing it for the first time and you're actually starting to get used to Facebook Live or this whole thing of streaming, and you're fumbling around, it's real. It's authentic. Yeah. It's genuine. People actually connect with you because of that. And now all of a sudden it makes everybody else go, holy shit, I'm not the only one.
Yes.
Right? Like, think about how many times you've done this right here today. And then think about the tiny little technical difficulty just had, just as we went live. I had the exact same problem yesterday on one of the ones I did. You know, dude, and trust me, I do this every day like you guys. This shit happens.
It happens. Normal. It's not a big deal. And if you screw up and you're like, well, I want to make sure my video is perfect. Well, here's another little tip. You aren't fucking perfect. And you compare yourself to the news. Hey, you're an exception. Okay, pal?
Thank you. Take it easy.
You know, the thing is that, like, you know what, the people we compare ourselves to are the newscasters and professionally trained actors and actresses. These people have studied and been trained how to look on camera, how to stand, how to do everything. Look, we like that. We love that stuff. But at the exact same time, that's not our job. Our job is to sell real estate. Our job is to be humans. And guess what? The super glossy videos that we've seen for years, people aren't wanting that. That's why, David, you're saying they want live. They want real. Like, one of my most favorite things to ever see is I love watching people run into glass, sliding glass windows. I think that is absolutely hilarious. Just smack.
It's the weirdest thing ever, man.
But it's true though, and that's the idea. Is that's exactly it? Is that we're looking for that rawness, right? Everybody makes mistakes, and I love what you said. Nobody's perfect. I mean, again, I get that Gene is potentially an anomaly to this thing. But you know what people don't want. Like, I remember I was speaking at a conference last year, and we were sitting out on the patio outside, like just outside of the meeting room. Anyways, there was a photographer there, and there was a guy on the patio, and he was getting photos taken. And, like, you know, he's dressed well, good looking guy, whatever. And, like, he's doing these photos where he's like,
GQ photos,
you know, he's like staring out to the horizon or something like that. And the guy's taking photos. I'm thinking, what are you doing with that? Like, is that a GQ model front page? Like, how is that selling real estate? I'm just curious. What are you doing to attract people? And look, again, I guess my point in bringing that up is the fact that it doesn't need to be polished that way. It just needs to happen, right? And to think that everybody's watching and listening to everything you do, sorry, food for thought.
not.
Not happening.
Oh, and this
Most
is my
people aren't
other,
paying any attention to anything.
dude, so this
You
is
know
my
what I
other
mean?
favorite thing is that when people always say they have to be perfect for camera. Well, this is what we all look like right now. Okay, we all look
I
at.
wish I had that kind of hair. Jeez.
So, guys, I put
Hey,
up
listen.
for you guys who listen to this on the podcast, I just posted a wig and a beard, fake, like a Jesus wig and beard on Amazon. It's like super long and curly. So, I mean, I'm actually going to buy that. It's $9. I'm going to put it and wear it in one of my videos that I'm going to do for my viral marketing, my database marketing, and make humor out of it. Because dude, I got some fucked up, weird, long hair going on right now that I look like I just stuck my finger in a light socket if I don't have a hat on.
I've been making fun of mine. Like I went today's what, Friday, right? So here I've been making fun of it on my stories literally lately. Like today's Friday. So Wednesday night I went out and fertilized the lawn. Yesterday morning, I'm doing a story and I'm looking at my hair because I didn't have a hat on. I'm like, I think I dropped some fertilizer on my head. It just doesn't stop. And I'm literally publicly calling out, like I'm publicly calling out my hairdresser and be like, dude, do a drive-by. Like just stick the razor out and I'll just drive back and forth in the parking lot, you know?
I don't know what you guys
come on,
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Gene, I was just going to say, man, can we get some fertilizer for your head?
Listen, I got there's people in the thread saying keep it bald. See, some of my lady fans. They
there you go.
So I want to go back. I want to talk to you about something. Because you said a bunch of things there that I kind of want to dig down a little bit. Like that guy. Here's what's interesting. That guy that you saw that was the real estate agent taking those goofy photos. It doesn't have to be that polished. However, because it was so much different than what you see on a normal basis, it made you stop. It made you look at what was going on, and then we're talking about it a year later. So whatever that dude was doing, it might have been goofy to me and you, but it was impactful enough to have you stop. And that is what I believe needs to be done in your marketing these days. So if you're doing the same old shit that everybody else is doing, nobody's going to stop to watch. If you decide you're going to stand out for a little bit with what you're doing from your marketing perspective, people will stop to watch and listen to your message. And here's what I find interesting. For all the people right now that are still afraid to get on video because of the way they look, because of their hair's too long, and because they have a stutter and they don't like all these things. There's never been an easier time to get into somebody's feed right now. And I'll tell you why that is. People, whether they're going to tell you this or not, are so sick of the monotony of all this bullshit that's going on right now. The negative stories, the negative press. We're all going to die. You have to have a positive blood, whatever the hell it is, in order to all this stuff. If you step into their feed with compassion and vulnerability right now, they're going to stop and they're going to listen to your message. Greg,
what?
What's the challenge that we were doing? There it is. They're beautiful. So we were doing this daily challenge the lead, where we were just popping in and out of Facebook Lives and talking to people about whatever was going on. A couple of them, I had my wife with me. We were cooking. The one night she was a little bit on tequila, which was hilarious. My kids stole my phone and did one night. People were calling me and sending me messages. Can you please tell me when the next one is? Because I love it. And what I realized was there was no sales tactics. It was just me being me. It was like you out in your yard with your hair. Everybody's feeling that same pain. Holy shit, what happened? What happened to me? I'm not the same guy from this. People still feel that, but they really like the daily interrupt of all the crap in their lives and watching somebody goofy doing something stupid. I was giving out little tips here and there, just stupid stuff. And I can tell you that I've gained new business from it without question. And when this is over, I will have more business from being that goofball guy in their newsfeed.
But that's the point.
Yes.
You're authentic. You're real. And I mean, we're back to our hair really quickly. I saw a funny quote the other day. It says, the more that we stay at home, the more we look homeless. And I'm like, fuck, that is so true.
That's funny, actually.
That's crazy, right?
But the thing is,
interesting the way that happens.
But we're all the same. And people, and this is something, we're all energy. We all flow. And you know what, Dave, I need what you're doing. You need what I'm doing. We all need what Gene's doing, because he's the perfect one here. And he makes no mistakes. And, you know, with that being, we just ask your wife, right?
Hashtag wanna be Gene.
Perfect Gene. But I mean,
how many hashtags do we come up with Gene?
Oh, tons. Are you kidding me? I just started off with him when we first started the show. I called him the evil bald ninja. I don't know where that came from, but that is stuck. The evil bald ninja, and they call him out on it everywhere he goes. Like, you're the evil bald ninja. And Gene, what do you say?
Yeah, well, I know where they're getting me from. Like, I know they've been watching the podcast because nobody else. Like my mother-in-law.
There's a bonus right there.
Yeah. My mother-in-law doesn't call me the evil bald ninja.
So we got a question from George, and Dave and Gina would love to have you guys attack this. George, thanks for putting this in there. He wrote into us, how often do you post? Daily, every 2 days, when you feel the need? So guys, tackle this, tear it apart. Let's give George some talking points, get him out there and make him a superstar. Gene.
Dave, you.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah, go. Okay, here. I would say to you, first of all, listen, it's not about the quantity, it's more about the quality, right? It's about getting out there and actually getting involved with people and delivering some value. Like, one thing I can't stand is, like, if there's somebody out there that just wants to make conversation and they're asking you, they want to bitch and complain about something that happened. It's the negativity that Gene just said people are like not looking for, right? So again, you got to be thinking quality over quantity. Now, I will tell you, depending on the line of business you're in, first, there is not really a bang on right answer about this thing. On a personal level, we've heard Instagram should be every 3-4 days. I have a habit of, I'm probably on there daily, sometimes twice a day, then I'll skip a day, and then I'm back with 3 times a day. It's more about consistency, right? Facebook, much the same. Like, I'm trying to get out to, like, I've got a private group, the Mindshare 101 private community that you've got to actually join to get part of it. Again, I'm in there every day. I'm in there a few times a day because those are my people. That's my tribe, right? That's my community. When it comes to my page I've probably posted a couple times today. I've got my podcast that I did yesterday. That promo will go out tomorrow, but I'm on this podcast, right? And this is one of those things, I'm not on this podcast every day, but when I'm on it, I'm going to share it to my page. So it's another piece of content. One thing that I would say is this. When we talk about building Mindshare, it's more about get out there, right? It's more about be present. So I'm going to tell you, like, stories, if you're not using stories and leveraging those and being on those literally at least once a day in a 24-hour window, you're missing the mark. Stories are being watched 15 times more than our regular timeline feeds. They are powerful. They last longer. And it's funny that we say that because, again, what happens is a story goes up and it lasts only 4 hours, then disappears. That being said, it's got a 24-hour shelf life. Whereas your posts that you put on your Instagram and or Facebook timelines, which will last forever on your feed, they will actually only be shown to people for somewhere between 4 and 6 hours, again, depending on the engagement you're getting.
Really?
So, it depends on the channel it depends on the channel you're making use of, right? And it's funny the way that works is that the stuff on your feed actually gets shown less unless there's engagement. Like, I got a photo that I posted, I think 2 days ago, that I'm still getting interaction on, which means it's still being served up to people because it was getting interaction. I've got something that I posted up last week, which I'm still getting notifications about, that is getting interaction. But I got many of the things in between that obviously didn't get as much interaction, which have just gone dormant. Like, you could see them on my page, but they're not necessarily still existing. Now, let me go full circle with this and give you something tactical that you can do right now. Okay. I want you to do this. And I'm going to try to draw this out here. Forgive me, guys.
No worries. I mean, while you draw that out, I'll kind of dovetail on what you're saying. Is that I posted a photo of me on Saturday last weekend when I was out running. I felt like I was gonna about fucking die, and so I posted. I got like saliva flying out of my mouth. I'm sweaty. My hair is all over the place, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm out here running. This is horrible. I got to keep going. And I had a guy reach out to me and goes, hey man, thanks for posting this stuff. You really encouraged me. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go for my run as well. And I'm like, that is really fucking cool that me dying in an Instagram story which then I reconstituted over to Facebook, with saliva everywhere, my hair a mess. People are like, dude, 2 thumbs up, man. Thanks for that inspirational post. You don't have to be perfect. Actually, imperfect is better than perfection.
And that's the beauty of stories, right? Is that you can be as raw as you possibly want to. Like, I sat just before we went live, I sat here right here waiting for you to join me into the room there. And I literally looked at my phone like this. And I don't know if you can see it on my camera. I looked at my phone. I ripped a quick story, just joining these boys and waiting for, my buddy Greg to get them on or whatever I said. And then I tagged you, right? And what ends up happening now is it's content from my story, which means my story's still visible. And let me keep playing on that one here. When you go to the top of it, forgive me, I still have one that I want to post up for us. But when you go to your top of your Instagram, you see those circles that are up at the top. Yep. Well, the more people are clicking on yours, the more you're going to show up at the top, the more mindshare you're going to be building. And now every time they open up their Insta and or Facebook, they're going to see you.
Yeah.
So again, it's about the consistency. So now to help with consistency, look at this little diagram that I just drew here. Okay.
Okay.
You see that? Real simple.
So
This
wait,
is where I
what?
started with consistency.
So describe
It's a
it for
grid.
describe it for our podcast
Yep.
listeners. What do we have?
Okay, cool. So here's what I did. I drew a little grid on a piece of paper, and it's like a spreadsheet, let's call it. And I put a column across the top, or pardon me, a row across the top that was basically my headers. And in each column, it was Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, stories, and personal. Then I put 3 rows below that, and the 3 rows below that are basically morning, afternoon, and evening. Now I've got this blank spreadsheet sitting here, right? Well, every time I post, what am I going to do? If I post it on Facebook, I'm going to put a little check mark. Was it in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening? Instagram, LinkedIn, stories. Stories will have 20 check marks by the end of the day, let's call it. And now when I look back at that grid at the end of the day and I go, do I have a lot of check marks or just a few check marks? It's going to tell me if I was on my social media today actually posting content. Really stupid, simple way to do it. But now when you look back and go, am I being consistent with my social? Some days you can have more check marks. Some days you can have less. But if you got a blank slate, you haven't done jack shit.
Right.
Right. So it's important that you're checking certain things off. The more you do that, the more you're going to get your comfort and the more you're going to get your consistency. And then again, to that question of how often, well, now you're going to start to get into a rhythm. And so something else that I do is I'll plan a 30-day content calendar. And I will sit there for, 3-4 hours on a Friday night, big desktop calendar in front of me, a pencil and an eraser, and I'll start filling things in. And I know when my podcast is, and I know when my promos are. So again, if you got open houses, when are you putting out the promos for that stuff? When are you doing your stories? You start to write that stuff into the days. And now you can look at this calendar and go, I know when I'm posting and what I'm posting. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have sporadic things that come up in a day either. And now, again, you're going to start to feel out what that actual, call rhythm, that flow is for you to be posting. So forgive me, long answer to a short question, because I don't think there is really a bang on answer to how many posts I should be doing in a day.
Wait, so can I
you look at some people, they're doing 7.
I want to get on that. I want to talk a little bit more about that because I have an insight too that I think we can add to this because it's another element you should be looking at. So first of all, I want to clarify something too, which is I think an interesting thought process is that when you're talking about your Instagram stories versus your Instagram feed, one is forced content where the other one is requested content, right? So Instagram is going to serve you my content in your feed if you're following me no matter what. You have to physically make the decision to go seek out my content on the story. So you coming after my little circle on the top is more powerful than my post on the bottom. Does it make sense?
Yep.
That's interesting.
You think about that. So when you go through, I know if Dave went and checked his stories right now from the last 24 hours, you're going to find that there's a subset of people that watched every single one of your stories.
Right.
What should that tell you? These are people that are interested in your content. Those are the folks that you should be reaching out to. Number one, because they're watching you for a reason, or maybe they need something that you have. So when you go through, so like Greg, if I put a story up, if I put 5 stories up over the last 24 hours, and I go back and look at the analytics of it, and I see that Greg McDaniel watched every single one of those 1-minute stories, I know you're following me, right?
Yeah.
And so that should tell me something. Maybe that deserves a, yo, Greg, been thinking about you, buddy. How's life been? How you doing on the West Coast? Now you're like, dude, I just watched this guy for the last 24 hours. Why is he reaching out to me? No agenda. I'm just checking in, right? So
I love that. And that is an absolutely brilliant idea. And it's, again, like we talked about in the pre-show. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about in the show is so stupid simple, but our eyes aren't open to see it. And I mean, when I post on Instagram and Facebook, I get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people viewing my posts. And, I'm always very flattered and very, very grateful and thankful for everyone who interacts with me. But I think it can be taken to another level by then re-engaging with them and saying, hey, how are you? What's new? And I mean, I might be dumb, but I mean, I want both of you geniuses to weigh in on this. I have a theory that, and I'm executing on this. Everyone who watches my story, if they have a story, I go watch their story back.
Yes.
And just kind of a courtesy
It's
reach
reciprocation.
around. Yeah. And then, I love it because in Facebook, it's so easy when you see them there. Well, okay, just click whoop and you can send them a little message. And
here's the thing too. And this was not the point I wanted to make because I wanted to get back to George's question. But so Greg, I could probably say the 3 of us, and I'm not going to name names, but if I said socially on your social media platforms, who are your top 5 people? Who are the top 5 people who give you the most love all the time? Constantly commenting on all your stuff, positive stuff, like not ribbing you, not giving you the business. Positive stuff. Great to see your face, Greg. Boom, boom, boom. You could probably rattle off 5 people that you know are your biggest fans, right?
Oh yeah, easily.
Are you their biggest fan?
I don't have an answer for that.
I mean, I think the answer is going to be no. That's probably across the board. And I don't mean to point you out.
That's fine.
I'm the same guy. Like I take for granted that there's always 2 or 3 people that are responding to my stuff, that are watching right now. Like these people in our feed right now, Leo DeBundo, I went to grade school with that dude. I grew up with his parents. That's one of my guys, right? So am I reciprocating that to Leo? I should be, right? These are things that I think if we think about, you want to talk about mind share, that's a great way to do it too. Now, well, real quick, I just want to go back to George's point. David, I love what you said there about how much, obviously quality is way better than quantity, right? And that has to do with beer, wine, women, like you name it. Quality always trumps quantity in most cases, except for money, right? Except for money. but I will say this: what's interesting about what that question is this: there's so many opinions on how often and at what times. Like you've always heard that, right? You should send your emails at 8:15 on a Tuesday because that's what. Okay, whatever. But I always say to people, what's interesting about this, and if you're paying attention, everybody's circle on every platform is different. So in other words, in Greg's world, and you got to take into account that he's 3 hours behind me. In Greg's world, his most engagement and reaction are determined by the people that are following him, not by statistics that were gathered in Omaha. Like that's not how it works. So when you go, how many times should I post on Facebook? You're going to have this data analysis from across the country that means squat to your internal algorithm, because your people are going to say very loudly through the insights and their interaction, we love when you post at 9:30 because our kids are all in bed and we can now get on and watch your goofy antics and we can deal with it because we know you're going to slip in an F-bomb every once in a while. I don't have to worry about Johnny behind me, right? And that might be different on Facebook. It's going to be different on Instagram, but it's all basically my stuff. So you have to watch what your circle wants from you and when they're reacting, and then continue to give them the content at those times because they're telling you this is when it's best for me to consume your content. Does that make sense?
It does. You know, the funny thing is, and this is something that I struggle with on Instagram. You guys know this background. You see this background all the time behind me. I'm like, well, I don't want to do a story sitting here. It's not very exciting. I mean, everyone already sees me here. And that has personally stopped me from posting in the past. But, you know, something that's kind of eye-opening to me is like, shut the fuck up, McDaniel. They already know what they're going to see in the background. Drop some knowledge and have some fun and be a goofball, and people are going to engage. But I found also sometimes people like you don't get a high engagement on a post. You're like, oh, no one likes me. I'm not going to do any more posts. Well, that's the death's curse right there. If you stop, you're going to die, and then people won't like what you're putting out because you're not putting out anything, right? So just keep if you find it interesting, someone else will find it interesting, and then just consistently be you.
But there's the point too. And sorry, Greg, to cut you. No. I love what you just said though about the background and starting to think it through so much. And look, it all the time, right? We think it through. We start pondering. But the big thing here is if you can start to become consistent with what you're doing, of good stuff you put out, there's going to be a mix of amazing stuff you put out, and there's going to be some really shitty stuff you put out.
Yeah.
But people are going to come to, and like Gene said, people are going to come to understand and appreciate who you are and what you're putting out, and they're going to start to either follow or not follow. They're going to enjoy it and see value in it or not. And so again, this comes back to the authenticity, right? Just get it done. Be real, be you, be genuine with what you're putting out there. You can make fun of dropping fertilizer in your hair, which I didn't really drop in my hair. And at the same time, you can drop dimes on you. But at the same time, you could drop dimes on, like, you know, today I did something about, you know, what it means to be dependable. And I told you guys that, I think, before we came on live, but like what it means to be dependable and how it's, you know, honesty and trustworthy. And we started going through different things that, you know, the little characteristics we all need. And again, you can find that live on my business page, right on Facebook. And it's like, you know, how many people watched? How many people have viewed? It could be very high. It could be very low. Is that going to stop me from doing it again tomorrow or doing it again the next day? I'm into a routine now where I can jump on this camera and I can jump on this microphone, and I can do it only for the fact that I've done it so many times.
True.
And so the big thing here it's more about just do it And as you do it, you will get better at it. You will start to find your rhythm at it. You will start to understand your insights, like Gene, you were saying about it, and you'll start to get your groove, right? But if your question here, how about this, and not just directed at George, but at anybody, if your question is how often should I post, or what should I post, yet you are somebody who doesn't post, I'm going to say just do something now.
Yeah.
And in fact, for everybody right now, how many of you have you taken the opportunity right now to take a photo of your screen, story it if you don't want to put it onto your Facebook or Instagram timeline, just story it, but take the opportunity to take a picture of the screen right now. And just before you post it, tag Greg, tag Gene, tag me, right? And as you do those things, what's going to happen? You're now going to have content to put out there. So your story is going to be alive, right? People are going to be able to tap on you. You're going to be building a tiny little bit of mind share. When we're done this thing and we look down at our notifications, what are we going to see? We're going to see that you shared it. So now you've taken us and shared us to your network. What are we going to do? We're going to reciprocate. We're going to share that because, of course, it's cool. If somebody takes a photo of me on a stage or on a screen or whatever, and they post it out and they're like, yeah, listen to this guy dropping dimes today, whatever you say, can't stand the sound of his voice. I don't know. Maybe that'll share out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the reality is you're giving yourself the opportunity by just tagging us that we're to reshare that, and you will be tagged and you will be seen by more people. It's that easy. So if you don't know what to put up for content, take a photo of your screen right now.
And I want to talk real quick. One of my favorite things to talk about with video is unintended consequences. And let's talk about, I'm going to take your exact example, what you just talked about. So you're going to take a picture of these three knuckleheads on here. You're going to post it or a story. Somebody in your circle is going to see it, right? They're going to tune in next week and learn 2 tips that blow their business up. Don't you think they're going to be thinking about you? Remember when you introduced me to that show? I didn't know those guys existed, and I made more. There's unintended consequences to you posting something that people will never, ever forget, and they'll hold you in the back of their mind like that forever because you showed them something. You might not ever know it, but they will be thinking about you because you were the one that showed it. I just made that up, but that's the stuff that happens.
No, it's so true, man. And let's go back to Greg's point here about the views and people not liking me or whatnot. I remember the first time I was asked to be on a radio interview, the producer of the show reaches out, sends me a DM, which means he's obviously following me and I didn't realize it, right? Mm-hmm. Sends me a DM through Insta and says, David, we've been following you for the past 2 years, and we'd like to know if you'd be a guest on our show. My first thought is not, this guy's asking me to be a guest on the show. My first thought is like, you've been following me for 2 years. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Never liked, never commented, never acknowledged anything for me, ever. Yet all of a sudden, 2 years later, here's an opportunity to be on the radio because of the stuff I did 2 years ago or for the past 2 years consistently.
Well, that is true because a lot of folks, and I do it. I mean, I have a Twitter account. I don't post ever. I'm just a voyeur. I'm just going out there and I'm checking shit out, right? A lot of people don't want to be noticed. They just want to go consume content. They want to do them on their terms. And so, did you steal a photo? Nope. I have my photo of you guys. I just
do you see that? That's George.
Woohoo!
George just posted the picture of the 3 of us on his Instagram account.
There you go.
There it is, guys.
And now, George, the next powerful part to that is tag people.
He tagged me.
So same thing. Like I've got I got a Harley and I got pipes on there called Reinhardt's, and I don't know if anybody here rides or whatever understands it, but anyway, Reinhardting. So I was, a couple of weeks ago, I pulled the bike out and I turned it on. I love the sound of my bike, so I took a picture of the, the butt and listen to the rumble and tagged Reinhardt. Well, Reinhardt ends up messaging me through Instagram. They're like, "We love the tag. Thank you so much. Do you think you could send us the real video? We'd like to put this up on our website."
Nice.
Right now, what does that mean for anything? It doesn't mean I'm directly getting business, but I'm certainly dropping a ton of mind share with that, right? So just by tagging somebody else, they're going to get notified that you did that, and your post is just going to go from here and even bigger.
Yeah, so Dave, what is your hashtag? I'm putting up the 3 of us so everyone knows.
Yeah, dude, the hashtag's MindShare101, but the handle on Insta is at David Greenspan 101.
All right, I'll get all this stuff in here. But I think, what I love about this right here is that, being opportunistic. And if you like it, post it. And one of the things that I always, someone told me one time, is that your day is like a book. There's chapters in your day. There's chapters in the book. So if you wanted to think about this, so this is a chapter in our day, is this podcast, right? Another chapter of my day is going to be hanging out with my boy Jake Wolf, the pack leader, and we're going to be going over and we're going to be doing some more funnels that we're building for with this company. Then my next chapter is going to go. I'm going to go into a home inspection for a client in San Francisco. It's just chapter. Document the different chapters in your day. One post, it could be one post the whole day. It could be one post per chapter. It's up to you. My good friend Stevie Hahn out of Florida in Jacksonville. That girl chapters the fuck out of her Instagram. I mean, she has so many fucking posts, but she's on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and fucking everything else. But she's got a thriving business. People know about her all over the place because she puts herself out there. And this girl, when she first started watching the podcast and she and I became friends, I told her, look, you are very beautiful. You're very talented. You absolutely have to get on camera. She was petrified. I mean, I'm talking petrified of a camera, right? But she didn't listen to that inner fighting, that inner talk in her brain saying, you can't do this. She took the bull by the horns and she crushes. And her business is through the roof. It grows every year. And she is authentically her incredibly sweet self. And people flock to her. So, I mean, the three of us ugly motherfuckers, I mean, we're not beautiful women. So we're one leg down. But all of you guys out there, talk about whatever it is. You guys all have a superpower. Dave, your superpower is your motorcycle from this one discussion here. Gene, you got beautiful girls and a beautiful wife, and you can post about them. It was hilarious when they stole your phone and did the hashtag challenge the lead because they literally could not figure out what Gene did for a living. It was one of the funniest things I ever heard.
they were arguing over it. It was funny.
It was hilarious. But I mean, just start doing something, be relevant. Because here's the other thing. When you post, and you could post something deep, philosophical. I can't talk today, apparently.
Philosophical, I got you.
Thank you. Or it can be something goofy. You don't know who you're going to impact and who needs to hear what. And they may need to hear that word of wisdom. They might need to see something funny because they had a shit bag of a day. You just be you. If you feel led to do it, do it. And don't ever apologize for anything you post. If anyone gives you shit, fuck them and the horse they rode in on. Block them, cancel them, and no, don't actually do that. Just tell them they're assholes. But just be you. Love you.
Stop worrying about what other people think, right?
Who cares?
Like stories. You say chapters, right? Think about stories. And I know this is one of those like big epiphanies, right? But a story is literally that. Create a story. So I guarantee you tomorrow morning, you will see a story of me pouring my coffee. Now, ask why. Let me tell you why. Because for the past number of weeks, pouring my coffee on Saturday, it goes into my Maple Leafs mug. So I've got a Toronto Maple Leafs coffee mug. And Toronto Maple Leafs, Saturday night hockey, 7 p.m. I am missing that. Like I miss, eating food and drinking water, like air. You know what I'm saying? Like I love my hockey. Now, every morning when I go to pour my cup of coffee into that Maple Leafs mug on a Saturday morning, it hits me. I don't have hockey tonight. I don't have Saturday night hockey, right? This is like some people's Sunday night football. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so it's like one of those where it's I'm gonna story that, and I'm gonna make a comment to the fact that like, and God knows whatever's gonna come out of my mind for that moment, but I'm gonna put something up there that's going to say something about missing my hockey tonight or whatever. And again, it's just one of those that people start to engage. And because it's a story of pouring my coffee, and you might go, what the hell does that have any value to anybody? It doesn't. But I guarantee you it creates engagement. And then you might see me hanging out with the kids and going for a bicycle ride. Then all of a sudden me ripping, a podcast, and then all of a sudden editing a podcast. And the next thing you know, I'm talking about the grass on my front lawn. Like, it's a story, man. This is the chapters, like you said, throughout our day. And it's so easy to take advantage of stories and how raw they are. If you want to get used to like social and just getting used to it, just do this, man.
And if you guys need content, if you want to stick on the real estate side, there's a couple of great resources. You can go to realtytimes.com. You can go to the consumer advice tab, drop it down. There is going to be a bunch of probably 9 different options. Pick the top 7. That's going to be buyer, seller, new home, homeowner, HOA, mortgage, and there's one other one that are short little articles you can read. You can go to your state association and you can pull up stats if you want to do something like that. Kind of what the market's doing, what COVID's doing. Think of yourself as a newscaster for your local market. and with the way the market's going, this is a thought that I had. We have patch.com here in the States, and they make lists for each city of what businesses are open. And so I thought for a second, I'm like, holy fuck, what if you did like a big Zoom call and then pushed it out onto Facebook and get all the local business owners that are out there, and they can commingle and work together and bring each other's clients to the other people to help each other all get through this and not go into bankruptcy and foreclosure. You know what? Why not help the local community? Smash that motherfucker out on Instagram on a story. Look, hey, we're just talking with all the local business owners. You guys want to jump on? Here's the link. We're going to be on at this time. That is sticky. That has legs. That gives value because you're not just self-promoting. You're promoting other people. I mean, it's just start thinking of what you can do to help.
Let's go further on that, because I love that. Okay, think about this now. Take it and make it individual. Think about the shops and the places that you normally go to that you haven't been going to a lot lately because of the situation, right? Well, they're struggling right now. They are businesses. They are small businesses. They are not bringing in the income they were bringing in. They may not know you from a hole in the wall, but you know that you are in there on a weekly basis buying stuff from them.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you picked up the phone right now and you called them and you did one of two things? One, or even both. One, you called to say hello, and you literally, hey, it's me. I'm the one with the two kids that keep spilling the milk inside your shop every time I come in, and I'm sorry, but I wanted to call, check in because we haven't seen each other in a while. Or I'm the realtor, and you can do the subliminal sort of thing. Like, I'm the realtor that's always coming in with their on their phone. I'm never paying attention to you, and I just pay you and I leave with my eggs. Yeah, that's me. Listen, I know I haven't been in there in a while. You may not recognize who it is, but I will be back. And I just wanted to call you today and say, look, I know everybody's struggling, and I wanted you to know I will be back on your store shopping. Now, what have you just done?
You've love that.
Given them hope. You've given them hope. You've made them smile, right? You've reassured them business is coming back. You've also extended on relationship, even they may not know who the hell you are, because the next time you go in there, once it's all over, and you're like, oh my God, it was so good to talk to you at that point. I guarantee you there's probably barely anybody making that phone call. They will remember who the hell you are at that point. Okay?
So
now
no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were
I was gonna piggyback on what Greg was saying too. And the second part of that is step it up now, right? Do an individual video call with these people and talk to them about their business, not yours. You are the conduit of information. You are tagging them. They now have content to put out to their social media because of you. They're sharing it out. You're getting seen. They're getting seen. Everybody is happy. And now when you go back in there again after the fact, they are going to remember you. Now let me bookend this whole thing now. Now it's 6 months down the road. This thing is over. We're to normal world. You are out there becoming, being the community expert in your area. You want to be known as that person. Now that you're there and you've already done all legwork 6 months ago, 2 years ago when I had the producer call me, right? Now all of a sudden you're doing something in the community. And you're like, you walk in, you're like, hey, Greg, man, listen, it's, whatever. And you know who I am now. You're the little shop owner. I'm the realtor, right? You know who I am. Hey, I'm doing this community thing. I was wondering if I could look for your support. You think I can leave some flyers or put up a poster on your... What do you think these people are going to say? Of course you can.
All day.
That's awesome. Help you. Now, don't make the phone call and don't do the video today just so that you can leverage it down the road. But let's be realistic. When you do good now, at some point down the road, people want to reciprocate.
Yeah, the law of reciprocity. It'll always come back to you. I've had two uniquely, amazingly awesome interactions. I was going to meet a prospective client at Starbucks. And this guy was eyeballing me, and I'm like, oh, how do I know this guy? Why is he eyeballing me? And we interacted very quickly. He comes back, and we're in line together. He's like, dude, you don't know me, but I know you. I'm like, oh, fuck. Did I date your daughter or something?
Yeah, that's
shit.
But he was super fucking cool. He's a local real estate investor. We rapped for a little bit and just kicked it. But he's been watching. Then I was at the bank, and this guy, a teller or a banker in the bank at Wells Fargo, like, I see him looking at me. I'm like, oh, shit. Is he think I'm a bank robber or something? Like, am I giving off the creepy vibe? What's up? And he's like, hey, Greg. He runs over to me and he gives me his business card. Another insanely awesome human being. He's like, dude, I've been watching all your stuff. Great content. Just want to say hi. And I knew you were tall, but fuck, you're tall. I'm like, I know. Trust me. but it's just that it's the people that you don't know that are watching, and the impacts that you're having on people. And I think that idea about going into the local shops, helping them and then coming back potentially and giving them the flyers to hang up is an absolutely awesome idea, because it can be about a local community thing as well. It doesn't have to be self-serving. Hey, I got a new listing. Can I put my flyer up here? Don't fucking do that. Talk about doing something consistently for the community. My good friend Glenn Twiddle, he's like he massively awesome and huge coach out of Australia. One of his coaches, clients, when Australia was burning last year, the guy stayed behind. He and his wife and his team stayed behind. Now, he was already a good cook. And so what he did, he made these giant vats of food and got clean water. And he was out there helping the first responders, feeding them, giving them water, helping animals that were burned or injured or lost their mothers or whatever else. And he just did it because he wanted to help his community. Well, his visibility went from normal to absolutely vertical by just helping the community. And that's all you got to do. Just give content. Guys, we're wrapping up on this thing. We're getting to the end of it. I don't want to end it. This has been one of my favorite podcasts on earth.
It was crazy.
The three of us were on fire today. Okay, we got our hashtags up here, guys. Go ahead, crush a photo, tag us in it. We would love to reciprocate out of our timelines.
For my Insta, it'd be at David Greenspan 101. But if you guys want a hashtag, Mindshare 101 is definitely what I use for everything.
Mindshare 101.
My Instagram and Facebook have been blowing up for the last 15 minutes with people tagging pictures. Go look at my stories.
I will.
Yeah. Like if you guys want Greenspan 101 on Insta, check it out there again. And then you want to hashtag it, use Mindshare 101. Gene, what is your Insta handle?
The Gene Volpe.
I love this. Oh, yeah, I'm the same way. I'm just getting notifications after notifications after notifications. It's That's amazing.
Great. So much fun.
The head concierge, got it, man.
That's the one.
So much fun. All right, David. Where can they get you one more time?
Yeah, check it out. Go to mindshare101.com. Again, that's mindshare101.com. We've got the host of the Mindshare podcast. The podcast latest episode syndicated today. We've got our private community that you can join, so you can check everything out there. But you want to check me out on Insta, as we've been saying, David Greenspan 101. My hashtag is Mindshare 101. You'll find me on Facebook. 101 and a YouTube channel is Mindshare 101, so everything's Mindshare 101. Definitely check it out, connect with me, send me a DM, check out the all the options we got, lots of marketing tools, the private community there, the podcast, subscribe to that. If you need anything, if I can help you in any way, please message me anytime. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure being here today.
I love this. Gene, now I know that you don't like saying it, but where can they get a hold of you? Actually,
let's stay on the same thing. Why don't you go to Instagram and follow your boy at the Gene Volpe? How about that?
I love that. All right, guys, follow Gene there. Follow Dave. Check out his podcast. Download it today. If you think he was good here, you got to check him out when he's on his own native soil and just crushing his own podcast. I listen to it. It is amazeballs.
Man, bro. Thank you, bro.
Dude, it is my pleasure. So, guys, I forgot to do this. God damn it. So I'm going to do it again right now. Okay. There's the Mindshare, guys. There's the logo, so we're going to look at right there. Then, of course, you cannot go anywhere without knowing this bald ninja, the bald ninja with GVI Media rep, and say hi to him there. And as always, guys, you know me. I'm Real Estate Uncensored, Greg McDaniel. Follow me. Check out my YouTube and everything else. But, Gene, do your job. Pick out the bow color.
Let's go lemon lime green.
Lemon lime green. I like lemon lime. Okay, guys, there it is. There's our show. David, you are a legend. Gene, you're the man and the myth and the bald ninja who does no evil or harm, because you are the picture of perfect. Thank you for watching, guys. We love you. We appreciate you. We could not do this show without you. Please go ahead and go to iTunes or any other place you guys pick up these podcasts and give us a 5-star, not a 2-star, a 5-star, because that helps us get in front of more people on a faster, basis, so that we can help more folks get the free content that most of the times other people are going to make you pay for, which is bullshit in my opinion. So go help another human being. Use your Instagram, use your Facebook stories, get out there, create content, get business, change lives. Until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.